the oil cooler from up here. I removed the plastic pieces above the radiator. I already removed the electric fan out. The electric fan would have been right in front of here. You could see everything clearly now. Let me shine a flashlight down there so you guys can kind of see better. I don't know if that helps a lot, but anyway, you could see there's like a tank over here. Yeah, see if that's better. It's attached to this coolant tank that's attached to the radiator. Well, it's actually attached to the expansion tank up here. Anyway, and it's attached over here to the bottom of the expansion tank, and that's where the coolant comes from to supply the oil cooler. So you have to remove that center clamp. I'm gonna use my little pointer to show you guys. Okay. All right. This center clamp right here that my pointer is touching, that slides up, and that will release the neck of the mount for the oil cooler, and then you will pull it out towards the engine, and that will pop it off. And then you can kind of see, I don't know if you guys see clearly, but you could see the two transmission lines here. Let's see if I can get a better. There's one, and there's the other, which are attached to the two elbow nipples on the oil cooler. And then you just have to reattach them to the new one, you know, make sure that they're clean or whatnot. And I'm gonna, you know, hook those up first, and then I will put the oil cooler back onto this tank. All right, a lot of the coolant already leaked out, and I drained the rest. So obviously, if it's not fully leaking, you're gonna have to drain your coolant first, unless you want to have a mess all over you. But anyway, I'm gonna pause this and take it off. I don't know what that is. All right, so I disconnected the transmission lines from the original oil cooler. I'm gonna shine a light down here to show you guys. There are the two lines. All right, I'm gonna use a pointer to point on them. Just give me a second. Okay, that's the return line, and this is the in line. And if you see the tip, these have the built-in quick release, unquick release, right? A lot of dirt and grime gets in there, and then what happens is they don't want to move. So you got to clean them up, you know, brake cleaner, WD-40, you know, and work them. I mean, if I had the skid plate under here when I bought the car, there was all the skid plates weren't here, only the very front one underneath the radiator. So anyway, they get all grimed up. So I'm going to show you real quick what you have to do. Okay. All right. So, okay. Here's the line. It's very hard to see. I apologize. But here's the line. Anyway, and you just squeeze it in, you know, towards the base, and then you will pull the nipple out of the oil cooler. That's it. You know, it's fairly simple, but again, like I said, they get all grimed up, and you really can't. Let me shine some light on here to make it easier to see. They get all grimed up. So here's some light. This is better. So see. And what you do is, when it's connected to the nipple, you'll push it in towards the base all around, and then slide it off, you know. And you know, you might have to work it around. You gotta, you know, you clean it up a little bit, and you gotta get it to turn freely left and right. And once you get that moving freely, then you could try to take it off. And all you have to do is, like I said, you squeeze it towards the base all the way around, and then you could slide it off the nipple. All right. All right, now I'm going to install the oil cooler and plug everything back up. All right, I got the transmission lines back on, and I just have it, you know, snugged up to the coolant tank here. It's not actually plugged all the way in with the clamp or nothing. I'm gonna go wash my hands because I got some transmission fluid. You're probably gonna lose some transmission fluid. I lost a little. What I did is I added some inside the oil cooler. But I'm probably gonna have to add some. And if you know these cars, you can't add it from up front. You got to do it from underneath with the fill plug. So the car has to be level. So I might do that tomorrow. I might even just do another transmission service. Even though I did one last summer, why not? I'll take a look and see how dirty it looks, and maybe I'll just do a drain and fill or something like that. Alright, so I'm going to pause it again and just plug this the rest of the way in and put the clamp on, and then, you know, I could put the fan and all the plumbing and everything else, air intake plumbing back on and everything else. Okay, so I'm just going to pause it. Alright, we are back. Alright, so I got the oil cooler on, and now I'm going to start pouring some coolant in the expansion tank, and I'm going to see if it holds. Alright, so what's going on again? It's been a while. I was waiting on parts, but anyway, I was working on the '07 BMW X3 and having a lot of issues with coolant leaks. So anyway, I'm gonna flip over to the stuff that I replaced. Okay, I'm gonna shine a light in there. Anyway, we had to replace the ATF oil cooler, which you know, the inside hooks up. These two nipples hook up to the expansion tank. This expansion tank bracket right here, those two nipples plug into that. I had to replace that. I had to replace the expansion tank, which is right here. When let me see if I can point my finger on it. Okay, that's the oil cooler right here, that silver thing. This right here, this is the expansion tank. This is, you know, on top where you pull the coolant into. Anyway, that sits on a bracket, that sits on the radiator, and we had some issues with leakage with O-rings, and then some of these quick connect hoses that they like to use on this vehicle. So we replaced this expansion tank, the oil cooler. We replaced this bracket here that the oil cooler and expansion tank connect to. And then a bunch of lines. We got a new expansion tank level sensor. So a lot of stuff. And then after all that, it was leaking again. But I think I figured it out. One of the lines, it wasn't sealing properly because of these quick connect things. Sometimes they don't go on all the way. They're kind of you know, tedious when they start to get old and the plastic starts to warp or whatever. So anyway, I'm filling it right now with coolant, and it's not leaking now, so we're gonna see what happens. All right, so I'm just gonna pause 1 second. And so what I'm doing here, it's a self-bleeding process with the electric pump on the 2007 BMW E83. It takes about 11 minutes. You go in the car, you have to turn the heat temperature all the way up. Then you turn the fan on, fan on low. And with the key in position 2, you step on the accelerator for 10 seconds. And that should activate the water pump bleeding process of the system. And I have the cap open over here. I'm just adding coolant as I go, as it goes down. As the float goes down, I add a little bit at a time. Anyway, it's probably the best thing about an electric water pump. Probably the only good thing about an electric water pump, they don't last very long. But anyway, I'm doing this process now, so just waiting. I use Pentofrost NF for the BMW. It's the blue stuff. I make my own 50-50 mix with distilled water. Alright, and it takes about 11 minutes. Alright, it looks like it's holding though. I've replaced almost every coolant hose and coolant system part on this vehicle. Not everything though. There's still a few things, but all right. Okay, and make sure you have a charged up battery too when you do this, because this process will kill your battery. All right. Alright, should be done. Another few more minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. I'm just gonna pause that real quick. Alright. Alright, I put the fan back in, and I also put the snorkel back on, just so nothing falls inside the air box in there. But the fan, you know, it easily slides up and out. The plug is right here, you know, and there's 2 little plastic pop clips that go in here and over here. I didn't put those in yet because I'm not done yet. But anyway, you just have to slide it in, and just be very careful that you don't dent the radiator. And anyway, slide that in, and there's clips that it has to pop into. 2 on this side and 2 on that side. It's got these little square slide clips that lock into place, kind of. They have to land into that place, and also on the top here there's these lips that hold it to the radiator. It has to go in that way. Anyway, and then I'm going to start it up, and we're going to see what happens. All right, so let's see if it'll start up. I might have killed the battery, hopefully not. If I did, I can grab a jump box, but let's see. Come on, baby. Close the door. Okay, well, the light's coming on. Come on, baby. All right. We got to get the jump box. All right. I'm just going to pause it. Again, sorry. I'm very sorry. All right, I got this fucking bad boy started finally, man. I'm like bugging right now. Like, damn. But anyway, I got to start it up with the jump box. You can see the jump box over there. Now I'm just watching the temp. This thing has been bled out. I can turn the heat on and see if we got some heat now. If the heat is working, well, I'll give it a minute or so. It's got to run for a minute to warm up a little bit. But if the heat works, we should be good money. Good money, good. Dinero bueno. Bueno dinero. Right? Alright. I got coolant all over the belts and stuff. I tried to it's coming out warm. Alright. Belts are kind of loud. No windshield wiper. What's going on here? I don't need the windshield wiper on. Alright. It's coming out lukewarm. Alright. Good sign. Alright, let's turn it on full blast here, see what happens here. Turn this over here, that's for the heat. Alright, let's take a look outside, see if there's anything leaking. It shouldn't be. I mean, we already went through the bleeding process, but you never know. I had a hose pop off because one of these quick connects weren't seated right, and that's why I can't stand these quick connects. You know, they're not really quick connects. They're unquick connects. They're a pain in the ass. I really can't stand them. But you know, BMW likes to go plastic with everything, and they like to make everything difficult. I don't see anything leaking. Nothing to leak. Let's put the drain can back over here just in case. But I don't see anything in the area where I had the issue, which was the oil cooler. ATF oil cooler. It's an external oil cooler. The ATF oil cooler is not part of the radiator. It's an external oil cooler. Okay. It looks just like the oil cooler up here, you know, for the engine oil. It looks dry. I don't know if you guys could see that. Sorry, I know it's loud, you know, right next to the engine, but everything looks pretty good up top as far as the eye could tell, which I'm very happy. All right, I'm gonna let it run a little bit, and there's still a few pieces that have to go back on for the rest of the intake, the air intake box, you know, the air dam and whatnot. All right, thank you for watching. I'm probably going to close this video out with this, so I appreciate you guys watching. You know, if you guys like the video, please, you know, please feel free to hit the like button. And that's really it. And if you guys want to subscribe, I don't have a lot of videos out yet. I haven't been doing this, you know, but a minute, but you guys can subscribe. You know, that'll encourage me to do more work. You know, doing these videos, you know, I've been trying to do more and more, and it's helping me get some of my my work done, some of my repairs done. I'd rather be doing some modifications on my my new 2017 Subaru WRX, but I got to do what I got to do, you know. And you know, if you guys, somebody learned something, or even if you need to see something, appreciate it, you know. All right, peace out.